Hey guys, what's up? I am gonna show you what I like to do before my back training. I'm gonna show you 4 different warm-up drills. Each of these drills, the goal is to create better length in all the muscles on the posterior side of the body. So we're gonna do some work for the spine, we're gonna do some work for all the back muscles, lats, the upper back. I'm gonna take you through these things one by one. I highly recommend you do this prior to your training session, just to promote better length. It's hard to get muscles to work if you can't get them to stretch all the way. So this is gonna give you better output as well as just feeling better. So the first thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna do some extension of the thoracic spine. So this is one of my favorite thoracic spine exercises. So I'm using a foam roller and a lightweight. This is about a 10-pound kettlebell. You don't need a lot. So what I'm doing is I'm getting on the ground, I'm putting the foam roller just at the base of my thoracic spine, which is right where the rib cage starts. So I'm staying off of the lower back. I'm gonna make sure my butt and my feet stay on the ground as I do this. So I'm just grabbing my weight. I'm gonna bring our arms up overhead. I'm gonna take a nice deep inhale in this position. And then for all these things, when I'm stretching, I wanna exhale into the stretch. So I'm gonna breathe in, then I'm gonna exhale into the stretch. This is backwards from what you would do if you were focusing on the strength side, but I wanna promote the length side. I'm not worried about how much weight I can use. So I'm gonna do maybe 1 or 2 reps right here. You might feel some popping and cracking. I'm just gonna move up a little bit. I'm gonna do 1 or 2 reps in each position until I hit the base of my shoulder blades. Once I'm at the base of my shoulder blades, there's zero need to continue going because the shoulder blades don't bend and extend quite the same way that your vertebrae does. So I'm already at the top. Okay, so that's all I need. So this just helps me get my thoracic spine in a better position, which puts my shoulder in a better position, which means everything else I do will now move better than it would have. So that was thoracic extension. The next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna work on thoracic rotation. So if extension is coming this way, I also need to be able to rotate through my rib cage. That's where my lats are. So when I do rowing exercises, if I do anything single arm, I need the ability to create some rotation. I don't want all to come down here through my hips. This is called a thread the needle. I like to use a foam roller to kind of facilitate this one. So I'm just going on to all fours. I've got the foam roller running the same direction my torso is. I'm just gonna reach underneath me and I put the back of my wrist on the foam roller. Now what I'm gonna do is, again, I wanna exhale into the stretch. So I wanna take a deep breath in. Then I'm just gonna exhale and push my arm through and try to drive my shoulders to the floor as far as it'll go. Then I'm gonna inhale again. And then do it again. Try to drive my shoulder toward the floor. Now I might do a good 8 or 10 breaths. I'm just gonna keep going, and every time I exhale, I try to push a little further until I just can't get any more. Now some people will get their shoulders to the floor, some won't, but I wanna just keep driving every time I exhale. We go. Obviously we wanna do both sides. I've got a little bit of a discrepancy on left to right side, so you'll see the left side on this arm doesn't quite go as far, quite as easily. Not something I'm trying to fix per se today, but something that I know I just need to kind of take account for. You see, I just can't quite get there, but inhale, exhale. So this is helping rotate the spine, which is going to allow for better protraction of your shoulder blades, which means better upper back recruitment. You can get better stretch in there, in your rhomboids, in your lower traps, in your posterior delts. And it's helping rotate through the lats. So I'm going to get better recruitment there in the stretch position on my lat exercises. All right, so once I've done about maybe 10 or so breaths on those, now I'm going to go after 2 more movements. Now these are gonna be more targeted away from just the spine. So the first one is a combination of my lats and my QL. Now, if you ever had issues with your lower back, you probably know what your QL is. So it's not your spinal erectors directly here, but we're fanning out a little bit kind of into this section of the body, underneath the ribs, above the pelvic bone. So I've got a band attached to the top of a pull-up bar. This is kind of a medium resistance band. I don't want something super light that's not gonna do what I wanna do. I stuck my hand through the band and then I'm gonna grab it like this. I would rather hold it like this, because if you hold it like this, If you accidentally let go of the band, you're gonna be slingshotted forward when that band flies away from you. So this is like a safety thing. So I'm here. There's a two-step to this. So the first thing I need to do is just back away a little bit. I'm gonna sink my butt down. Now, even in this position, I can feel how tight my lats are. I can feel this running all the way down. Okay, me dropping this way, I'm allowing my lats to be stretched from the top and from the bottom. So this already feels like a good position. So if you wanted to, you could even just hang out here. However, I want to integrate the QL and even the piriformis muscles a little bit into it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop my right glute onto the floor and I'm going to turn into a 90-90 stretch position. So I'm going to go this way, here. So now I'm allowing for a little bit more movement in more places. So now I basically am just going to relax. I'm just letting the band take me up and around. Now, depending on where you're tight, you might start here. It could fan all the way down into your lats. It can get into your lower back. If your glutes are super tight, you might feel even that. So I would recommend hanging out here. Don't worry about timing it, but I would focus on your breath. Try to take maybe 10 or 15 really slow, really deep inhales. Try to fill your abdomen up with air each time. And then once I've spent my time here, obviously you should do both sides. I'm not gonna do both sides on the video, but don't just do one side. So the very last thing that I'm gonna do is I'm now gonna focus on opening my scapula up. So this is gonna be my upper back muscles. So specifically things like my rhomboids and my traps. And it's gonna work my posterior delts and my external rotator cuff muscles. All right, so we got a lot, basically all the things that help draw you back this way. We're gonna stretch those muscles by trying to go as far this way as we can. So what we're gonna do, you take your hands, you're gonna put them right at the edge of your hip with the back of your hand here, almost like you're being handcuffed. I have my feet on the ground in front of me, so I wanna do this both arms, right here. Now, my goal is to get my elbows on the inside of my knees. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move forward, so I'm hooking my elbow to the inside of your knee, and then I gotta do the same thing over here on the other side. All right, so now I've successfully hooked my elbows to the inside of my knees. Now you have to really focus on pushing your shoulder blades open and opening up to get in this position. Now already, and if I wanna increase the stretch, what you can just do is just move your feet a little closer together and squeeze your knees in a little bit. That way you don't have to focus on actually moving your elbows. You got your knees there to do it for you. Now what I like to do with this is actually do what's called PNF stretching, which means I'm gonna go into a contracted position for about 10 seconds. Then I'm gonna push my elbows against my thighs and then contract the muscles in the stretch position. PNF stretching often can help you break into new territory if you're getting kind of stuck. So you'll see what I'm gonna do. So first I'm pushing my knees in, relaxing into my stretch. I'm breathing. Hold this for a few seconds. Now what I'm gonna do is I leave my knees where they are, but I'm driving my elbows out. That's firing up some of those muscles. I'm firing up my external rotators. I'm creating some tension. Again, I wanna hold this maybe only about 10 seconds. You don't have to go crazy, but you want a good contraction. Then I'm gonna relax, and when I relax, it's actually gonna allow me to go a little further. And I'm gonna do maybe 3-4 reps until I can't go any further. And stretching, then contracting. I'm just gonna do one more. I don't wanna make this video too long. Perfect world, I get my elbows to touch, but I do not have that level of flexibility, and I'm not sure I even have the arm length to pull that off. And then my preference with any sort of PNF stretching is to end with the contraction part. All right, that way you're just kind of creating this neurological tone and getting those muscles now ready to go out of that stretch position. And then when it's time to move out, let's move your legs out. And there we go. So I've addressed all these different compartments in my back. Only took a few minutes, but now everything I do, I'm gonna get better length. So try this out. If you like it, make sure you like the video and subscribe to our channel. If you want to see other stuff or you got questions, make sure you throw a comment down below and I will get back to you as soon as I can, try to help you out. Thanks guys.